This video could be the most important video that you ever watch. I'm not being hyperbolic, considering that heart disease, and in particular coronary artery disease, caused due to atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque, furrowing of the arteries, and the narrowing of arteries, which leads to a heart attack. But not only that, also strokes, dementia, kidney disease, peripheral vascular disease, erectile dysfunction, etc. Considering that this is the most common cause of death of human beings, and in this video, I'll be telling you the scientifically proven diet pattern which would prevent and even reverse coronary artery disease, the kind of dietary patterns which have been shown to reduce the size of plaques within blood vessels. This could well be the most important video that you'll ever see. So please pay attention, watch the video till the end. Make sure you share this video with anyone you know who may need this advice. I'll be going through 6 studies. This will be in chronological order. So I'll be starting with the older study first, moving on to the newer studies. And this video will also serve as a good illustration of how science evolves. How we had a certain perspective of a heart healthy diet in the 80s and 90s and how that changed as science evolved. It's important to understand that science is always evolving, but ultimately science is what we can determine as fact. Anything else is belief. There will be many things today that I might state about diet which may contradict what you have heard before. You may, for example, believe that saturated fats like ghee are healthy for you. That's what you've been told. That's what you've heard. However, if the science does not match with that, that belief is just what I said it is, a belief. It's not a fact. For that to be a factual belief, it would need to have the backing of scientific research. So even before starting the video, I'd like to say that to the ghee lovers and butter lovers, if you're planning to inundate the comment section with contradictory claims, then please make sure you share the evidence, you share the science. Don't just share what you believe, share any scientific evidence that you can to back your claims. As I said in the beginning of the video, I do want you to see the change in approach with studies as science evolves. The first 3 studies were done in the early 90s, and the diet that they considered to be the best diet for reduction in heart disease, and it did show some promise, was a low-fat diet. But the next 3 trials are more recent trials and would challenge the notion that a low-fat diet is the best diet. As we will see in the next study we discuss, this was instead using a Mediterranean style diet, which is not a low-fat diet. However, it is a high healthy fat or good fat diet with a low bad fat diet. So not demonizing fat, but within fat, differentiating between good and bad fat. So by now you would have seen that even though most people think that once you have coronary artery disease or any kind of atherosclerosis, stroke, plaque formation in the carotid artery or any other blood vessel, this is irreversible. This cannot be stopped. It can only be slowed down. You will have seen by now that we have seen multiple studies, multiple lines of evidence showing that blockages in blood vessels, which is the number 1 cause of death of human beings, can be reversed through adequate lifestyle and diet. But what exactly are the components of a healthy diet? A diet which will help you prevent heart disease, specifically atherosclerotic coronary artery disease, but also reverse it as a supplement to the medication that you should be taking. Let's go through the characteristics of a healthy diet. One thing I'd like to point out that all of these foods belong to the family of carbs. And this is why when I see clients say to me that they already know what a healthy diet is, all they need to do is reduce their carbs. Honestly, that irritates me a bit, because carbs can be the most healthy foods that you can eat. If by saying that you mean you want to reduce refined carbs, white flour, bakery items, snacks, cakes, cookies, croissants, great, that's a great idea. If by reducing carbs you mean reducing ultra-processed, factory-made, long storage life foods, that sounds good to me. If by carbs you mean those refined flours which have been mixed with saturated fat and deep fried, and this could be jalebis, pakoras, donuts, Timbits, that's a great idea. But if by reducing carbs you want to reduce whole nuts, whole grains, vegetables, fruits, lentils, legumes, soy products, beans, that would be a terrible idea. Because these are the most healthy foods that you can eat. So in future, if you're someone who's been going around saying that you just want to reduce your carbs, I would urge you to change that line and instead say something like, I want to reduce ultra processed, refined carbs and saturated fats. That statement would be much more sensible scientifically. Now I can see the comment section already. Many of you butter lovers and ghee lovers out there will be in the comment section reminding me that someone said to you, you've heard somewhere that ghee is good for you, butter is good for you, perhaps some Baba told you that. But I'd like to remind you, you can believe anything you want. You can believe that the earth is flat or the earth is a sphere. You can believe that we rotate around the sun. You can also believe that the sun rotates around the earth. You can believe anything you like. What differentiates a factual belief from a non-factual belief is the scientific evidence. It doesn't really matter what Baba said. It doesn't really matter what you saw by some carnivore or keto influencer on Facebook or social media. What matters is the scientific evidence. There is so much misinformation out there. People saying that LDL cholesterol does not matter for heart disease when we have decades and decades of scientific evidence confirming that ApoB, Lp(a), LDL are the most important factors for heart disease. Of course, other factors like sugar, weight, blood pressure are also important. But if you really want to get into the comment section and argue that ghee and butter is healthy for you, then please come armed with the scientific evidence and make sure it is human, prospective, randomized control, trial data, equivalent level of scientific evidence, not some kind of animal study or mechanistic explanation from a petri dish in a lab. I hope you found the video useful. Please do share it with anyone who has heart disease or perhaps is at risk of heart disease. You could save a life by doing that. There is an attached blog which I will put in the description of the video. Make sure you read that. If you like to stay up to date with accurate, scientific, medical information, then consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, subscribing to the blog, and I'll see you at the next video.